What's up, boys? Welcome back to another video. I finally finished my playthrough for the Outward 2 beta, and I must admit I've had a lot of fun. I achieved everything I think I wanted to do in the beta. I've, sort of learned how combat mechanics work. I figured out the crafting and the survival side of things. I saw most of the first zone, and I also got infested with Hive, and you realize pretty quickly that that will be the death of you. So there's definitely been some big learning curves. I've just finished editing most of my journey. It's taken me quite a few hours to edit this, so I mean, if you're already watching this, please throw a like on it. It does help. Stay to the end of the video. I'll let you know my thoughts on what could potentially change or what I'm looking forward to. But enjoy the journey of this video. It's been a fun one. I'll see you guys there. So I woke up and I found this weird immaculate standing in front of me. I spoke to him and he told me that he needed an antidote for this guy that was dying next to us on the bed. The only way I could get that antidote was to find some certain plant that had to be rained on before I could pick it. He told me a little bit about some stuff. So as usual outward fashion, I decided to loot everything in my vicinity. In fact, I tried to loot the entire town. Grabbed my bag, found all the different chests that I could find, took everything I could. I know, just like in Outward 1, I had to sell everything, to get some starting cash. Found a life potion, those are extremely rare. Found my third big chest in the town. So I was off to a good start. Found the guy that stole my family heirloom, and he decides to mock me after I told him my dagger's missing. Found this random guy who told me about magic. Now that piqued my curiosity because I want to learn how to use magic. And with that, I set off out into the world of Outward. But first I have to look at my little skill tree here. These exercises are really cool. We've only really got access to the first few, and I didn't really venture in too far into it, but they look amazing. I found this little vendor on the side of the road. He was selling some random stuff until we got attacked by a boar. This was my first real piece of combat. I swung my pitchfork at him, but I let the NPC do most of the work. As you can see, I miss most of my hits because I'm completely cabbage at melee. You could probably see that I'm sitting on almost 1 health at this point. He ran away, we chased him down, we killed him. He fell off the cliff and I also fell off the cliff. So, there's my first official death in Outward. This is going to be a fun one. I woke up somewhere just outside of town. I could see my bag on the marker, so I went and grabbed that. Traveled a little bit further up the road and found a bandit camp. Lo and behold, there's a bandit on the road. So I decided to try my luck with my pitchfork. As you can see, I'm just trying to figure out mechanics, trying to see how to dodge and when to attack and things like that. Realizing I'm losing this fight, I decided it's probably smarter to disengage, until he summoned a friend of his. Knowing when to cut my losses, I decided to run. I found a quarry nearby who was stocking some bullets and a pistol, so I decided to loot everything I could. Inside that town there was actually nothing left, so I decided to camp up for the night, get some rest, and see what was back out those doors in the morning, hoping the bandits have gone away. Pack up my tent and we head out. The bandits were still waiting, apparently they don't sleep. So I decided to try this new pistol. Figuring out how to equip it, I got stabbed in the face. I'm also overburdened, so I can't move. So I dodge roll back to town to empty some weight. Another lesson in Outward. Manage your weight better. Okay, round 2, we try again. They're both right there, they're spawn camping. This is very BM of them, but I now have a pistol in my hand, so we're gonna try this out. Wow, the damage on that is insane. At this moment I realized that pistols were kind of OP. Boom, there's him dead. Boom, half health. This is kind of crazy, right? I ran out of bullets, so I had to pull out the old trusty pitchfork. And this is the second death of Outward. Why is this game so hard? Anyway, I woke up at the inn back at the main town, picked up my backpack, and I had one thing on my mind. Revenge. I used the fire rag on my pitchfork, and I went hunting for a bandit. And here's the third death of Outward. You can see why I didn't start on hardcore, right? I found this weird tower and I heard this NPC shouting for help. I crouched up because I knew I was on half health. I decided to eat something first and then tackle this giant guy. At this point I was already infested with hives, so my stamina consumption, my regeneration, everything was massively hurt. Equip the fire rag and commence the boss battle. I felt like I was doing pretty good here. I was dodging, I was timing my hits, definitely getting better at the combat by this point. I've already died 3 times, so you'd expect me to. Some really good fighting here by me, I thought. And I really want his weapon. If it's anything like Outward 1, you can take the weapon from the person that you kill. So I'm locked in. I'm trying as hard as I can. This is me with all cylinders firing. Ugh, 1 hit took most of my health. I drank a life potion to get back to here. Oh my goodness, the damage. I'm trying to Mike Tyson box with him. Hit and don't get hit. Another life potion down. Those are very rare this early in the game as well, might I add. We're doing good. We're on the home stretch. Look at that supreme dodge to the left. This guy's going down for sure. We do a little dance. I dodge. He one-shots me. And this is my 4th death of Outward. Gep saved me. I woke up and found him again. Luckily he still had the same health, so I decided to go back on him. However, I didn't really pay much respect and took a hit straight away. And then another one. We commenced the dance. Both of us too scared to swing first. I did a couple of pro dodges and I took him to the grave. 1 HP, by the way. Grabbed his weapon, threw that on straight away. Goodbye, pitchfork. The difference is insane. I found this NPC in the tower and I untied him. He was asking me for some help at a nearby bandit camp to retrieve a tablet. So I followed him to the bandit camp. I remember this camp very well. Death number 3. And we found the 2 bandits that he was looking for. Unfortunately, I had a random bandit that was locked onto me, which glitched out most of the quest, but I started the fight anyway. I'm on 1 HP here, by the way. So I let my NPC kill those 2, and I was hoping that he would help me with the others. He did not, so I went in, and this was death number 5, or is this 6? Yeah. Okay, let's try that again. I picked up my burlap sack. I realized that after 6 deaths, I'm calling it a day. I spawned back in and immediately got run over by a boar, so that starts the new character. With everything that I've learned now, I have a strategy that I want to put into place. Wake up, loot, 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 sell everything, find the pistol in the alleyway, and go straight back to the guy with the mace. Found a nice armor in this chest. Now I look quite cool. So there's a pistol and some bullets in this little bucket in the starting town. 4 bullets. It's a very specific number. We will need all 4 bullets. This guy is asking for a tablet from a nearby bandit camp. So I have an even better strategy. We run off. We find the sign that says that they are to the left. I find the angry NPC. And we shoot him. We run, we reload, we shoot him again. Half health and 2 bullets. 3 bullets, he's nearly dead, and 4 does it. So there's a perfect amount of bullets found in the starting town. Much easier. Again, we untie the bandit, we go to the bandit camp, and we fight. Boom! Almost one-shots the guy with the mace. This is a much better start. I'm still taking heavy damage though, because I am a cabbage. I found this extremely good armor and the tablet that I needed to return. So with that, I head back to the town. However, I'm extremely over encumbered, so I can't run, I have to keep dashing. Waiting for stamina and dashing. In retrospect, after editing this, I realized I could have just dropped my backpack and fought the guy. But he caught me and I had to go down swinging. Look at my health, by the way. I managed to win by 1 HP. Anyway, I returned to town. I found the NPC. He paid me 50 silver for helping him, and I returned the tablet. So with that cash, I went back to the slimy guy, and I asked for my family heirloom back. Now in this playthrough, I spoke about the dagger. I chose the dagger option, and that's here. So we get a nice dagger with some good damage and it inflicts bleeding. At the start of the game, you can choose three options: an heirloom, a dagger, a trinket, or a helmet. And depending on your choice, you get a reward after that quest line. So I went to the grocery, I sold everything, and bought a bigger bag. I wish I did that before I started, so I wouldn't have been dodging all the way back to town. But yeah, doesn't seem like a very long journey, but it took me probably 6 hours worth of gameplay to figure out that loop, and obviously to record it all and edit it all and learn things along the way. I think I probably spent another 10 hours just studying menus. But with that in mind, I gather some water and I call it a day. So at this point I thought I was done, right? I played for a week, I did some beta testing stuff, I found an optimal route to start the game, and I was about to give up and move on until release date. However, I decided I wanted to try just one last thing. A hardcore character who unlocks magic and then limit tests the conjuration. See how that goes. Cue the montage. Yeah, I realized at this point my AI minion is as dumb as a brick of potatoes. So I've changed my mind completely about Conjuration. It sucks. I will not be using it. That's just a fact. So, final thoughts. I must admit, I got a little addicted to the game. It was all that I could think about while I was at work, and while I had family visiting, all I was thinking about was different ways I could try different things. Of course, it's only a beta, so there was still a lot of content we don't even have access to, which makes me extremely excited for when the game actually drops and we have the entire game to figure out. There doesn't seem to be many downsides. Definitely the Conjuration AI needs some help. The fact that it wasn't helping me when I was in combat, it had to be hit first. That was frustrating, and I think that will play a massive part in the game if you go down the Conjuration tree and you're expecting to hit the end game. If it doesn't attack once you're in combat and relies on getting hit, that's going to be a big problem, right? Other than that, I found the crafting to be good. I found the actual surviving, the movement, the gameplay, all of it was good. The storylines were great, the quests. The loot that I was finding felt impactful. Once I upgraded from a pitchfork to a mace, or from cloth armor to a full metal armor, I was able to absorb more damage, and I was able to 2 or 3 shot things instead of, 10 hits. So there's definitely a strong power curve to keep in mind. I think guns are a little strong, but bullets are hard to come by. Bows are a bit weaker, but arrows are quite easy to make. So I think all in all, they've done an incredibly good job at balancing things so far. Obviously, this is just the beta, and I'm keen to see how the rest of the game goes. But if this beta has been any indication as to how the game's going to turn out, I am incredibly excited, and I hope the entire community gets behind this game, because this is going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to make more videos. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let me know your guys' favorite moments of playing in the beta, or any suggestions you might have towards the devs. Who knows, they might even see this video. But until next time, peace!